Hello and welcome to the post-match show. I'm Vaibhav Tripathi and joining me for this show is Devashish Sen and Mohar Chaudhary, both joining us from the Eden Gardens. The big question before the start of the day was who's going to qualify because three teams were alive. But by the evening, by 7:30 p.m. between that time, we got our fourth team. Rajasthan Royals qualified for the fourth place. They have sealed that place, which meant that Punjab Kings, Delhi Capitals were already out after yesterday's result. Punjab Kings and Kolkata Knight Riders. Kolkata Knight Riders, even before they came out on the field, the result they already had the result in their hands. So KKR are also out. Punjab Kings are also out. It's Rajasthan Royals who have sealed the spot, and but it was Kolkata Knight Riders, who couldn't give a nice little farewell to their fans, home fans, wouldn't give their last flight to the home fans at the Eden Gardens. They lost the match to Delhi Capitals by 40 runs. Again, a very disappointing season comes to an end.
Benchmark ka
They
bottom
started with a loss, they finished with a loss. In between, they won matches, but overall it was a very disappointing season for Kolkata Knight Riders, and again it ends like that. Half century for Ajinkya Rahane. If you talk about the positives for KKR, half century for Ajinkya Rahane. Exceptional bowling from Saurabh Dubey, another uncapped bowler. But overall, it was Delhi Capitals Day. Their capped Indian players performed really well, whether it was KL Rahul with the bat, Kuldeep Yadav, coming back into the team and bowling his best spell of the season, taking 3 wickets for 29 runs and taking his team home, defending decently well. This venue is not known for defending totals. This venue is known for chasing big totals, but KKR couldn't do that. So before the match started, what was you were there at nearest to the pavilion? What was the KKR camp looked like when they got to know that? Obviously, everybody must have had their eyes on the result, Rajasthan Royals result. How was the body language? How was everybody looking? Obviously, when you know that you are out of the playoffs race and still you have to take the field, how difficult it was. What was the body language of the players like?
I was before ask me, I think they were quite positive. Means obviously they were playing for pride, but unfortunately, in at one point of time, KKR looked like winning the match because they were just almost chased the total 126 for 3, and then that collapse. So I think it was unfortunate. And as we speak, the entire squad is taking around. They're doing a say thanking some way of thanking the fans who have played the hours and come for every matches, supported them. Today also there were as many as 40,000, 38 something the figures exactly. It was shared in the CAB group. So some around 40,000 fans gathered to support the team. Obviously, with the expectation that Rajasthan Royals will lose the match, but unfortunately, network. Is it okay now? Yeah, I think with Rajasthan Royals winning and knocking down KKR and Punjab Kings, and then obviously KKR losing the match. So the way they began this season, the end was also similar. So seven spot for Kolkata Knight Riders. Only saving grace is that they are above the IPL legends in its own right, Chennai Super Kings and Mumbai Indians. Who Chennai were eighth and Mumbai Indians even below. So I think that's only saving grace. Given the way they started the season, only one, no wins out of six matches, and then that turnaround, winning six matches from 6 games from 7 matches. But unfortunately, when it mattered the most, the last game, they unfortunately collapsed.
Yeah, obviously it has not been the season for KKR, and a lot of things they tried even mid-season. A lot of things worked as well. They bounced back strongly in the second phase of the tournament, which not many people expected, but they did really well. But more coming to this particular game, when they started with the ball, Saurabh Dubey was again on song with the new ball, taking the wickets, and but Today, Karthik Tyagi looked off color, the best bowler for KKR this season, the best pace bowler. What happened to Karthik Tyagi? What I saw was he was bowling too many freebies. What was your observation of Karthik Tyagi today?
Yeah, absolutely. That you exactly what you mentioned. And other thing that I would like to add about Kartik Tyagi is that yes, he is a good bowler. He has shown promise, but his death over bowling needs a lot of work. I have been observing this for some time now. Be it the Lucknow game, be it other games. I can't place the teams, but he does well with the new ball. But the moment he comes to the death overs and the moment he's given the ball in the penultimate over or the last over, he tends to mess up. So his death over bowling would need a lot of work. And other than that, obviously the pressure keeps showing because he keeps bowling those extras and no balls and all of that. So overall, obviously, I think it's still very early. I would not like to pass any comments because it's still very early. But yes, of course, his bowling would need a lot of work,
I
especially.
think Mohar has a internet issue. I guess she's struggling with it. But
Oh, do I?
Devashish, can you
Am
hear
I
me?
audible now?
Is it my internet or is it hers? You are on mute.
I think your
I am
internet,
audible?
Vaibhav. I think your internet.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think
yeah,
you're
yeah.
you're audible.
Okay,
You're
now
audible.
is it fine? Now is it fine?
Okay.
Yeah, it's okay.
Okay. Devashish,
It's
there was
okay.
a moment, Kuldeep Yadav coming back in this game, and he was this close to take an hat trick. Taking a hat trick is always special for any bowler. Kuldeep did create a chance, but Abhishek Porel dropped. Abhishek Porel has played all his cricket at this particular venue, and if KL Rahul would have been there, most probably he would have taken that because he has kept the wickets a lot of times when Kuldeep Yadav is bowling obviously for the Indian team. What was the crowd reaction during that time when Kuldeep missed his hat trick? Obviously, he's not a KKR bowler, but he has memories of playing at this venue for KKR. What was the reaction when Kuldeep missed the hat trick?
I think there was a sense of relief. Means obviously that KKR did not lose a wicket because at that time means that I mean, it was just the start of the phase when Cameron Green got out and then soon after Ajinkya Rahane also followed. So I think the moment Cameron Green and Ajinkya Rahane, and I would say even when Robman Powell was there, means KKR still had the game in hand. Then suddenly Rinku Singh getting out for a duck, and I think that suddenly picked back Knight Riders' case. And then obviously when you lose wickets in any format, be it Test, One Day or T20, it doesn't help. And when you are chasing 200 runs, and then you have always have to keep the asking rate going, and that was not the case today. Yes, KKR once again Ajinkya Rahane. I think he will also admit that he had given starts. He has given starts in the power play, but unfortunately, at one point of time, he looked like scoring a 50 or 32 balls, if I'm not wrong. And then all of a sudden, means he got out. So I think KKR missed Ankrish Raghuvanshi, I would say, because he was the kind of a glue in that captaincy role. And there is some internet issue. Is it okay now? Is it okay?
Yeah, I think now it's fine. Yeah, more.
Is it okay?
Devashish mentioned about. Yeah, Devashish mentioned about Ajinkya Rahane. He started like KKR started with a loss and they finished their campaign with a loss. Ajinkya Rahane started his campaign with a half century, ended with a half century, but because he got the start, he was set. He scored that 50. It was his responsibility. Again, it is coming down to taking the ownership, taking the responsibility as a captain and leading your team. This has been a venue where a lot of chases have been done. A historic chase for Punjab Kings have been done by Johnny Bairstow and Shashank Singh. So when Ajinkya Rahane was set, he's the experienced batter, he's the captain. He should have been more careful. Obviously, his game against spin is not that good, and that's why he struggles during the middle overs. But were you a bit disappointed with the way Ajinkya Rahane got out, especially after he got set, because he knew that there is not a lot of experience in the lower middle order.
Absolutely, Vaibhav, you're perfectly right. I mean, obviously, knowing that he is the captain and this is the last game of the season, I mean, sure, qualifications are something else, but they would have at least, it would have been good if they had ended the season on a high. I mean, the fact that he is the captain, he should have led from the front, which he was doing. He was trying his best. Finn Allen, his role is to not stay. His role is not to bat deep. His role is to hit those fours and sixes to give a good start and then go out whenever he wants to. Also, the fact that Ajinkya Rahane knew that Ankush Raghuvanshi void would be felt because he had been their most consistent, versatile batter, and now that he is sitting out, that would have been a factor. Knowing everything, keeping everything in mind, when he did give a good start, yes, at one point it did seem like he was going. There were certain pockets where he was going a bit slow. I mean, the half century also that he brought up, yes,
Right,
there were some
exactly.
also the way he started, there were a lot of edges that happened and which went for boundaries in the power play, but there were a lot of edges, so he was not looking completely uh, I mean, he was not really middling the ball right from the start, but then he found his rhythm while playing in the middle. And when he knew that he has sort of been able to, score a half century, and he is set. It was his responsibility to stay there, bat deep, stay there for long, even if that meant to anchor the innings and letting others bat around him. That should have been the template. But again, I was absolutely perfectly put. I was very disappointed with the way he got out because obviously there is nothing to lose at this point. It's not like they are going to qualify or something, winning the trophy. No one's thinking that. But at least a lot of people had turned up tonight, despite it being it turned out to be a dead rubber game, but a lot of people had turned up tonight and they wanted to see their favorite team winning, but that didn't happen. So again, I won't just blame him entirely, but since he was the one who got the proper start, he had gotten settled, I think he should have played a lot more responsibly.
One player that certainly played with a lot more responsibility was KL Rahul, and not just with responsibility but with flourish. If you look at his strike rate, a lot has
Strike
been
rate.
spoken about KL Rahul's strike rate in T20 cricket, but this season he ended his season with a strike rate of more than 170 plus. Devash's thoughts on KL Rahul's innings: 60 of 30 balls. He was a top scorer for DC, and he was one of the main reasons why DC were able to get past 200 run mark.
Absolutely, absolutely. Means obviously KL Rahul has always been a consistent performer. Means whichever franchise he has played for, given the way he has performed, and we all know in few days back he was captaincy in Test. So I think, and it's not just Test cricket. Means KL Rahul is also making a statement with regard to our T20 format as well. Yes, he is not a part of the T20 squad, but definitely his IPL, he did make a statement. But obviously, the fact that Delhi Capitals as a unit did not fared well, be it Akshar Patel. I think one of the biggest failure this season has to be Akshar Patel, because a lot was expected from Akshar as a captain, but obviously one would say that all that ends well is well. And so Delhi Capitals ending the season with a win, I think that will give. And he, in fact, during the toss as well, he mentioned, means whatever it is, means he would have loved to bowl first, but means obviously to end the season on a high, to end the season with a win, I think he will take it. But overall, I think it was a disappointing this season for Delhi Capitals. Even after the addition of Mitch Stark, means their campaign did not look like taking off. And that has got a lot to do with the overall. Means David Miller once again, another player who Delhi Capitals banked heavily on, but he has also not fired. Kuldeep Yadav, he has to be dropped. Remember, um, so I think Delhi Capitals, it will be a disappointing season for them, much like KKR. See, the damage was done at the start of the season when you are winless out of 6 matches. In fact, I would say Punjab Kings would be the most disappointed among these three teams. If you compare with Delhi Capitals, KKR, and Punjab Kings, they started the season fantastically, winning 5-6 games on a trot, and then suddenly their campaign dipped. So I think KKR, they will take it in their stride, because at one point of time they looked like, means ending lower down the table, but obviously, in fact, before this match they were actually was very much in the reckoning to make it to the playoffs. But I would say that there are a lot of positives. At the start of the season, there were so many injuries to key bowlers. Obviously, Cameron Green was not allowed to be bowl at the start, but the form of the middle order batters, Rinku Singh was not firing, Varun Chakravarti was not clicking form. But I think overall KKR will be satisfied. But obviously, the fans would have been happy had they won the last game and ended the season on a high.
Devashish, sorry, Mohar. If you talk about the positives, the two of the biggest positives you can say could be, Karthik Tyagi obviously being the standout pacer this season, an uncapped pacer doing really well. That too, a young pacer. Also, the speeds at which he operated, 145 plus, consistently getting those important wickets. I remember him getting Sanju Samson, uprooting middle stump of a player who is coming off a great run at the T20 World Cup, and then later at the fag end of the season they found a new hero. Even today he was their best bowler, Saurabh Dubey, taking wickets with the new ball, swinging it, and then bowling in the block hole as well, bowling in the death overs. Two uncapped bowlers, one left arm, one Karthik Tyagi who can bowl at 140 flies. Two of the biggest takeaways you reckon from this season for KKR?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, if you look at their season so far, if you look at their campaign so far, not many positives that we can pinpoint. But yes, obviously, it has been Karthik Tyagi, like you mentioned. Yeah, I mean, he can have one or two bad games or one or two bad spells. But like I mentioned, he has to work on his death over bowling because I think the pace is perfect, everything is perfect. I think I think he tries too much at certain points, which is not required. He can keep it simple. That is why my observation. But other than that, I think with Harshit Rana getting ruled out, who was their main pacer, and then Vaibhav Arora also was not being able to fire as much, they had to drop him. I think he took the responsibility, and I think he did pretty well. If you look at the overall season at large, I think he did very well. And Saurabh Dubey, for sure, has been. I think he has been extremely impressive. I am actually shocked as to why he did not get a place in the playing 11 much earlier. That is something that KKR needs to think. They need to back their young talent. They need to back their domestic talent more. So, I mean, obviously, he has done pretty well. And one more positive that I would want to add, Vaibhav, is that yes, he has been ruled out, but it's Ankrish Raghuvanshi. I mean, he has played for them overall. He has done really well. I will not say that he has not played well in the previous seasons, but this time I think he got his perfect opportunity in number three and he made it count in every game. Yes, probably people can talk about a strike rate and all of that, but we also have to think about the opening pair that it's a very unpredictable opening pair. Sometimes it clicks, sometimes it doesn't click. Somebody who walks out when probably one wicket is already down, two wickets down, when not enough runs on the scoreboard, maybe they have to keep their wicket in mind and play. But other now, of course, he could work on his strike rate as well because obviously now with the kind of template that the T20 game demands. But other than that, I think the consistency that he has been able to maintain, the range of shots, the shot selection, the technique, everything. I think we have seen an evolved version of Ankush Raghuvanshi this season.
Devashish, what are the changes that you are expecting from KKR next season? Can it be one? One could it be that they are leaving somebody like Ramandeep Singh, whom they have invested in, but we saw that in the last few matches he hasn't been getting in. He was basically dropped from the team, and even today Tejasvi Daya was given opportunity, obviously as a wicket keeper, but now we can see that suddenly there's not a lot of faith that is being shown on Ramandeep Singh. So one Ramandeep Singh on him, and what other changes that you are expecting from KKR?
Yeah, obviously, the first one for me will be the change in captaincy. The change in captaincy, Ajinkya Rahane, obviously he was picked. He was not picked at the first round in the auction, but the KK had no other option but to go for Ajinkya Rahane, given his experience. So I think there will be a change in captaincy from very much on the line for the next season. And then obviously somewhat surprising is that KK have not tried several youngsters, be it Sarthak Ranjan or a Daksh Kamra. A lot has been spoken about them. Rahul Tripathi, I won't because he is
Prashant
age
Solanki.
is not definitely not on his side. Prashant Solanki, leg spinner, yes. And so there has been obviously KKR. I think they messed it up by picking Navdeep Saini because Navdeep Saini along with Prabshan, there were Akash Madwal and several others were in the trials for KKR at the start of the season.
I think we have lost Devashish. More, can you
Simarjit
hear
Singh,
Devashish?
Simarjit Singh was also there. Akash Madwal was there, but KKR went for Navdeep Saini, I think. So a few of the decisions, and they were a bit stubborn, I would say. The team management were a bit stubborn in picking the same squad after, despite losing the first four matches. In fact, they were lucky to get a point after the in the fifth match. That was here at the same ground when the match against Punjab Kings was rained out. So I think stick like you mentioned, sticking with Ramandeep Singh despite him not performing. Vaibhav Arora, he although he took wickets, but he went for a lot of runs. So they could have easily tried someone like a Saurabh Dubey a lot earlier, rather than at the ninth or tenth match. So I think few of the decisions were a bit baffling, but you have to give it to Abhishek Nair. It was his first season as coach of a franchise. Yes, everyone will relate to him his performance with the WPL, but I don't count that much because WPL is a separate thing than what it is IPL. So I think IPL is lot more tougher and challenging. So I think you have to give it to Abhishek Nair. In fact, yesterday in the pre-match press conference, he spoke a lot about KKR's turnaround. The way the campaign started, it definitely that didn't look like they are going to be in the contention for a playoff. But then suddenly, all of a sudden, when the players started performing and they got back to form, KKR suddenly looked like the team to beat. But eventually, it was not with anything. With Rajasthan Royals was always the favorite vibe up because they only needed a win. And thanks to Jofra Archer, means unfortunately, Vaibhav Suryavanshi did not score much. Neither did Yashasvi Jaiswal. But that is what you want from a good side. Means when someone fails, other takes charge, other take the onus. So that was not the case in this match for KKR. So, but I think KKR fans will be happy. KKR fans will be happy the way the season panned out. So every season you won't be able to win. Even it happened for Mumbai Indians. Mumbai Indians at the start of the season, everyone would have said that they would definitely make it to the playoffs, but that was not the case.
Yeah, obviously, and since you talked about Abhishek Nair, I think a lot of blame is being put on Abhishek Nair, but one needs to understand that there are so many T20 legends who are a part of that coaching setup, whether it's Dwayne Bravo, Shane Watson, Tim Southee, Andre Russell, you name it. You have so many players inside that dugout, and still, if you're blaming an Abhishek Nair, I don't think that's a fair criticism.
No.
I think everyone should take blame for that for the team that performed because I don't think it's Abhishek Nair taking all the decisions on his own when there are so a lot of people involved. Dwayne Bravo is the director of cricket, so I think it's a bit too harsh on Abhishek Nair. But more, anything that you would like to add on Devashish's point about what KKR can do better next season? What changes can they make before we next on to the next before we talk about the next match?
I think Devashish has covered all the points. Firstly, it would be obviously the captaincy change that has to come in. We don't know who would it be. We don't know if it's going to be Rinku Singh or we don't. We are not really aware of the retentions and who they're going to take, who they're going to release. We don't know. But yeah, I mean, backing a player is fine, but there has to be a limit. You have to see. I understand you want to trust them and back them, but also the current form has to be kept in mind. And other thing that I mentioned in my previous answer as well, that they have to trust their young talent much more. The domestic talent has to be trusted. They have to keep a tab on how they are performing in the domestic levels, and they have to trust them and they have to back them as well. So these are the 2 points that I think I would like to make. And yeah, obviously, nothing else that I can think of.
So now let's shift our focus to the team, to the match. That decided today which way this day is going. I think it was Rajasthan Royals versus the Mumbai Indians match, and things were pretty much done and dusted by the evening, by before the KKR and DC match started. Devashish, Jofra Archer, he didn't had a great record at the Wankhede Stadium with the ball. If you look at his performance, even in the World Cup against Nepal, against India in the semi-final, he leaked a lot of runs. Even when he was with Mumbai Indians, he used to leak a lot of runs at Wankhede Stadium. And then last year, we all remember Abhishek Sharma scoring a 100 at Wankhede Stadium against Jofra Archer-led bowling attack. So Wankhede has never been kind to Jofra Archer, but Jofra Archer first with the bat, scoring those important runs, scoring a quick fire 32, and then coming on his own and taking wickets. He has done that pretty much all throughout the season, in this season particularly, in taking wickets with the new ball in the power play. But today, three important wickets, giving only 17 runs in his 4 overs. All round, Jofra Archer coming to the forefront for RR when it needed the most.
Yeah, absolutely. I would go a step further in saying that obviously Jofra Archer has taken a lot of ownership in this season for Rajasthan Royals. It's not just about Riyan Parag or others. I think Jofra Archer, even during the press conferences, we have heard a lot about Jofra Archer and his involvement with this franchise this season, and it has reflected on his performance. He seems to be enjoying a lot, and obviously the initial burst, obviously picking those two initial wickets, and then coming back and picking the crucial wicket of Hardik Pandya. Remember Hardik and Surya Kumar, that partnership that looked like Mumbai were still very much in the hunt of chasing that total. But again, Jofra Archer coming back and taking the crucial wicket of Hardik Pandya. I think you need some kind of players like Jofra Archer. Um, um, uh, yes, unfortunately, KKR, they would have hoped that same role would have been played by Cameron Green or some other foreign players, but that was not to be. But I would only like to say that Jofra Archer has been this has to be one of the best seasons. Means not only he is enjoying, but he has been an integral part of Rajasthan Royals' success so far this season. Not only just Vaibhav Suryavanshi. See, Vaibhav Suryavanshi will be there, but I would say Jofra Archer in that because his bowling attack, despite having an Andre Barger or others, I think it is Jofra Archer's leadership that has paved the way for Rajasthan Royals to be in the playoffs.
You know what is interesting, after Jofra Archer was asked about this season, how this season has been one of his best, he said, "This is not the best I have bowled. I have bowled better than this." So you just know the standards of the bowling. He was the standout bowler for England in the T20 World Cup as well, taking the most wickets in the power play, carrying the same form in the World Cup. We are talking about the World Cup fatigue when it comes to Jasprit Bumrah, Arshdeep Singh, a lot of Indian players. But look at a Jofra Archer. He's been the most injury prone in the last 2-3 years more. But him playing all the matches up to the semi-final for England, and then playing all the matches for Rajasthan Royals, leading the pace attack with responsibility, like Debashish mentioned. He didn't get many opportunities to bat in this season, but today he got opportunity to bat ahead of a Shubham Dubey and Ravindra Jadeja. I think, I don't know whether it was a tactical call or what, but sending a Jofra Archer ahead of a Ravindra Jadeja, okay, you understand Ravindra Jadeja was not fully fit, that's why he came into batted number. But Shubham Dubey has finished games for you, not just this season, in the past as well. And to still promote Jofra Archer, what would you make of that move? Was it, if that wouldn't have gone for if that wouldn't have worked, then a lot of people would have played a dart game with Kumar Sangakkara, that they would have blamed him that why you sent in a Jofra Archer ahead of Shubham Dubey or and Ravindra Jadeja.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you summed it up perfectly at the end. I think as far as his bowling is concerned, I don't think we have anything to question at all. I mean, yes, he has, like you mentioned in the previous season, he has looked a little off color in the IPL. But of course, he had this injury that he came back from. But I think he has come back beautifully. Of course, we know his power play bowling this season has been exceptional. Uh, but today, like you mentioned, coming back once again, taking those crucial wickets and giving away very less runs, I think he has just, maybe he thinks it's not his best, but I think so far in this year's IPL, I think this is Jofra Archer's best as far as IPL is concerned. And I mean about the batting, I think I was watching the scores and reading it on Crick Buzz while I was coming here, and up till a certain point, I was convinced that they would get bundled out very early because the top order has gone away. The middle order, Riyan Parag started well, could have stayed much. I mean, once again, captain leading from the front, that should have been the case. He should have, since he was settled, he should have stayed more. But then I was convinced that okay, they are going to lose. So KKR, maybe they have a chance still if they win tonight. But all of a sudden I'm seeing Jofra Archer playing this amazing knock with a great strike rate, smashing the bowlers. I think it was definitely a tactical call. I don't know what made them think so. Maybe his batting in the nets or something must have sparked that decision. But had it backfired, we would have talked about how that was a bad decision and all of that. But glad that it worked. And obviously, I think in today's entire game, Jofra Archer was the only silver lining that I can see. Yes, you can see some others performing well here and there, I think, but Jofra Archer was the, I mean, he got the player of the match, but he was the only silver lining in today's game. And that augurs well for Rajasthan.
See, if you look at from a Rajasthan perspective, then what was most heartening for Kumar Sangakkara Debashish must have been that Yashasvi Jaiswal not scoring big runs, Vaibhav Suryavanshi not scoring big runs, and even somebody like Dhruv Jurel not converting the start, or Riyan Parag. Then a Dasun Shanaka, Donovan Ferreira, Jofra Archer, these guys, the middle order, lower middle order stepping up. And what could, like Moore mentioned, they could have been bundled out for 170, 180, who knows, a 160 as well. But the way the middle order stood up, I think before a knockout game, I think this must have been the most pleasing side for the team management and for the captain as well. That when our top run getters got out early, then middle order took the responsibility and get us to a defendable total 200 plus. Obviously, Wankhede at Wankhede you backed chasing teams, but they gave themselves a chance by posting 200 plus. So how heartening was it not to see when top order was did not perform, it was the middle order that came to the fore.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely, and you also have to give credit to the management to get in someone like a Punja. Means I think he has been the star in the making. Means obviously, game. And I think when you have someone like a some Kumar Sangakkara in that dugout, and obviously, I think it was a perfect decision to draft in. And today also he took a couple of crucial wickets. And in fact, it was a great season for him. So for someone who hasn't played much, even for Karnataka. So and for him to make a mark in his first ever IPL, I think that credit should be given to the Rajasthan Royals management. And obviously, when you talk about Riyan Parag, he hasn't contributed much, but I think the others have stepped in. You have mentioned about Dasun Sanaka and those crucial runs. Even Donovan Ferreira. We have seen in during that series against India, some of the hits, and also in SAT20. I think this season for Rajasthan Royals, he has definitely played his part, and that is why you find Rajasthan Royals in the playoffs, and especially the overseas players, Jofra Archer, Donovan Ferreira, Dasun Sanaka, even they also they have really performed. And then you have that Indian players in the likes of Yashasvi Jaiswal, Dhruv Jurel, Riyan Parag, Vaibhav Suryavanshi. I think they have a good blend of youth and experience, I think, and they will definitely fancy. But you don't know. You don't know what will happen, what lies in store for them. But they will have the confidence heading into the playoffs.
Yeah, definitely. And the changes that they made, bringing a Nandre Burger taking a couple of crucial wickets, sticking with a Brijesh Sharma. You mentioned about Yash Raj Punja. I think this season has been about Brijesh Sharma filling in the shoes of Sandeep Sharma, who didn't play a lot of. Even this game, he was dropped. I was talking in the pre-match that how an experienced campaigner was dropped to just accommodate somebody like Brijesh Sharma. Look at Brijesh Sharma's figures: 2 for 26 in his 4 overs. So another brilliant season for Brijesh Sharma. I think another Rajasthan Royals find their scouting team has been on fire. They have been finding these games. But more quickly, last question to you before we wrap up about Mumbai Indians again. Without Jasprit Bumrah to restrict Rajasthan Royals, even after the late assault, was a good effort. You will consider it as a good effort at the 1K 205. The total was chaseable, but what would you say about the batting lineup? You start with Rohit, then the most informed batter, Ryan Rickelton. I think whenever the pitches are a bit on seam-friendly conditions or bowling-friendly conditions, even the best of the batters like Rohit, Ryan Rickelton, these batters are also getting found out.
Yeah, I mean, Vaibhav, you're right. I think the score was very much chaseable. I think it's not like they couldn't have chased it, but I think this has been the problem with Mumbai Indians so far. I mean, this even if they look like okay, they might just chase it, but somehow they end up messing things up. So especially when the Surya Kumar Yadav Hardik Pandya partnership was happening, I think I thought that maybe I don't know where the match is going to swing, but Once again, I mean, if we start talking about Mumbai Indians, then we have to talk about a lot of things. But I think it was good bowling effort to, restrict them under that total, given that it's Wankhede. But once again, the batting was, I mean, definitely not up to the mark.
Yeah, and that sums up the Mumbai Indians season. Nothing went their way apart from the first game. I think first game only was the host thing where they ended
It
their
was
losing
against
streak of
KKR.
first game. Yeah, at this venues. But I think there will be a whole review of Mumbai Indians, which Shamik has already reported.
Yeah.
They will undergo a review process. Things will change at KKR also, at Mumbai Indians also. CSK will also go under changes. So three of the best franchises in the tournament not get going through to the playoffs. That tells you how competitive this league has become, say, ever since it has become a 10-team affair. So yeah, Rajasthan Royals sealing the top spot is the story of the day, and with that we will leave you. Thanks Debashish and Mohar for joining. Thank you for watching, and we'll be back tomorrow. Obviously the league stage is done, the back, but the dice rolls on and the action continues. We'll be building up for the first qualifier in Dharamshala, which obviously will be played between RCB and GT, and let's see what happens. And we will be there. We will be there from the ground, covering and reporting you everything. So don't forget us. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and keep the notification bell pressed on. And we'll be back. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.